All right, let's do some principal inverse trig values. The biggest thing we got to remember is just everything about our unit circle. So with the unit circle, we have our degrees, and as long as we're going counterclockwise, we go up like that. Now, if we're going counterclockwise, starting here, they're all negative. And same thing with our radians. We go around this way, we go from 0 to pi over 2, blah, 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 all the way to 2 pi. If we go the other way, it's negative pi over 4, negative pi, blah, 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 all the way around. We have our exact values. Those don't really change no matter which way we're going. The last thing to talk about with a unit circle is that sine. So sine is our y value. And our cosine is our x value. Tangent is our sine over our cosine, so y over x. So that's a good kind of refresher course, I think, on all of that. Secant is 1 over cosine, cosecant 1 over sine, cotangent 1 over tangent, all that good stuff. One other thing that we talk about before we get before we get to the lesson is something called a reference angle. You've done these before. Reference angle, remember, if we're talking about from here to 3 pi over 4, okay? My reference angle is actually the angle that's formed with the x-axis and this terminal side. So my reference angle is actually this guy right here, which would be pi over 4. Okay, so that's important to keep in mind as we're going to start going over this. With principal trig values, we have some rules that we kind of have to keep in the back of our mind. So this chart up here is important, and then also the stuff down here is also very important to take a look at as we're doing this. The first thing for number 1 is arc sine and sine to the -1 power. Those are the same thing. It's the inverse trig, just way we write it. So arc sine and sine to the -1, same thing. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, we just want to figure out when sine is square root of 3 over 2, or when cosine is square root of 2 over 2, all that stuff. So we look to see, well, when sine is square root of 3 over 2. So that's my y value. So I'm looking, y value is square root of 3 over 2, square root of 3 over 2, that's about it. So then I look and see, okay, well, negative pi over 2 or my y can only be between negative pi over 2 and positive pi over 2. So if we think about it, negative pi over 2 is down here, right? If we go this way, positive pi over 2 is up here. So we're ruling out anything on the left-hand side. So that means it's got to be this point. Since we're doing it in radians, it is pi over 3. For my second one, I'm going to clear my left-hand side here. Got a little messy. Or my right-hand side, rather. So when is sine -1/2? So -1/2, y value, y value, y value. Okay, we got a y value there, we got a y value there. It says sine, once again, is only between negative pi over 2 and positive pi over 2. So it means it's got to be this point. Well, 11 pi over 2, or sorry, 11 pi over 6 is all the way around the circle. That's the distance there. But from here to here, that is not 11 pi over 6. So that's where that bottom of the chart comes in handy there. It says for sine, the answer is a negative reference angle. So the negative reference angle would be from there to my point. So if pi over 6 is the same distance, this is going to be negative pi over 6. So my answer is negative pi over 6. Alrighty. Moving on to number 3. One thing we got to keep in mind is square root of 2 over 2 is the same thing as 1 over root 2. So if you have that on your unit circle, then that's cool, no worries. So square root of 2 over 2, x value, so it's pi over 4. You can say, oh, but you didn't say, cosine comes between, well, cosine is between 0 and pi. So 0 and pi is here, so we're good. The only time that my x root 2 over 2 is positive would be here, and we can't use that because it's not between 0 and pi. Okay, so that's those. I think we got the hang of that. I'll just go ahead and give you the answer to number 4. Number 4 is 5 pi over 6. For the sake of time, you can maybe probably figure that one out. Number 5 and 6 are tangent. So for tangent, remember, it's y over x. So if we want root 3 over 3, I got to remember that I'm going to be putting my y over my x. So it's got to be positive, and it's got to have a 3 in there. So that means all the ones that are negative are ruled out. So that means it's got to be in this quadrant, right? And so then I'm going to look, okay, well, let's just try the first one, square root of 3 over 2, 1/2. So I'm going to put 1/2 divided by square root of 3 over 2. Well, that's the same thing as 1/2 times 2 root 3. I multiply, and I get, sorry, the 2's cancel out, and I get 1 over root 3. Well, that's not the same thing as root 3 over 3. Or is it? Multiply by root 3 on top, multiply by root 3 on bottom, so I get square root of 3 over 3. Bada bing, bada boom. So my answer is, not pi over 4, sorry. My answer is pi over 6. All right? That was a lot of work. Let me kind of erase all that junk. And so then with tangent of negative square root of 3, it's kind of the same idea, except where it's going to be the reverse. So we want negative, so that probably means it's going to be down here somewhere. We did 30, and it gave us that 1 over root 3. So what if I tried 60? Let's just try that first. Well, it would probably be this one. But let's just try this one first. So I'm going to put square root of 3 over 2 times, I flip that second one and multiply. So yeah, I get square root of 3 over 1. But I want a negative 1, and tangent is only between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. So it's only here, so that means it's got to be this one, 5 pi over 3. But remember, 5 pi over 3 is all the way around the circle. So I don't want 5 pi over 3, I want the reference angle. So 5 pi over 3 is the same thing as pi over 3. Same distance, same shape. So that's going to be negative pi over 3. All right. In class today, I had you do 7 through 11. So I'll go ahead and give you the answers. If you want to pause it kind of at this moment so you can have some time to work on that. You can double check your work and all that. Number 7 is 0. Number 8 is 5 pi over 6. Number 9 is negative pi over 4. Number 10 is 2 pi over 3. And number 11 was negative pi over 4. All right. Good luck. Come on in for tutoring if you need so. If not, happy computing, and I'll see you later.